All Things Good channel and to this week's video. How are you all? Hope you're doing very, very well. Muchas calor is what it is, isn't it? Muchas calor. I am not alone in the kitchen today. Grace, say hello.
Hello.
I've got Grace with me in the kitchen. It has been, well, there was no vlog last week and I do apologise sincerely for that. But you know what happens? Sometimes life just gets in the way, and we have had an incredibly busy couple of weeks. It has been really full on, and actually not all of it has been good news, but some of it has been very good news, which I am hoping to share with you later on in today's video. Got Gracie in the kitchen with me, sitting up with her foot in the air, I hasten to add. Grace has had to have surgery over the past couple of weeks. She's absolutely fine. She's recuperating well, but she's milking it. Oh yes, she's milking it. Waiting on her hand and foot, aren't I, Grace? No. That meant to be yes. It was meant to be yes. No, she's doing absolutely fine, but I'll chat to you a little bit about that later on. And as I say, it has just been incredibly full on. How are you coping in the sunshine? It is lovely, isn't it? It's gorgeous, but I must say, in this country, you know, we don't have air conditioning, do we, in our houses like it's standard in America and has been forever. And, do you know, I think it's probably getting to the point where I would imagine that most houses, or some houses in this country, especially the new builds, I think people are going to start putting air conditioning in. What do you think? Have you got it? I'm coming round to your house if you have. It's absolutely ferocious, isn't it? But we're coping. Nancy's doing very, very well, thank goodness. She's coping in this heat. Fortunately, she's got the coolest room in the house. So we are looking after her very well. But as I say, it's been a little bit full on. So it's a very chatty vlog this week, but I hope you do enjoy it. So without further ado, let's get into it. We have managed to get Nancy out this week, and of course we kept it cool in the air conditioning of Waitrose supermarkets. We had a good old shop. You know, these wheelchair trolleys are absolutely brilliant. She loves it, and it makes it so much easier and relaxed for her just to have a look around, potter about, where we can still get all the shopping that we need. What a brilliant invention. There you are, Mummy. Are you okay? Yes. What are you watching? The racing?
The racing.
You like the horses, don't you?
Yes. It's absolutely spectacular.
You've got your fan on, keeping cool in here.
Yes, it's lovely.
Are you enjoying it?
Yes. I think the outfits are lovely. Oh, her outfit's absolutely marvellous.
Oh, she does look nice, doesn't she? So does the king, very dapper. Very nice.
I like him.
I like him. Have you chosen a horse?
Yes. Royal Hero.
Royal Hero.
Can you put a bet on for me?
No, it's too late to put a bet on now. I don't think this is live. I think this is from the other day, actually. They're showing it again. So you'll have to see who wins.
Unsung Hero.
Unsung Hero. Is that the one you like?
Yeah.
Have to see how it does. Shall I put a bet on the lottery instead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that.
1st of June 1981. When it was a weed then. I'm not sure weed all week.
Good telly you've got, isn't it?
Well done, dear. Huge congratulations
Bloody
to you
marvellous.
and everyone else.
Bloody marvellous.
Sorry. He's marvellous. Lovely.
Love you.
Love you too.
The house situation is interesting, albeit a little bit stressful. I know it's a lot for people to think about, isn't it, when they're moving house? Like it is for me. It's a lot for me to think about when I'm looking at houses as to what the criteria is. How long are we going to stay in that house, and how long are we going to stay in that area? It's not just about the house, is it? And where I live is a lovely area. absolutely lovely, don't get me wrong, but we're 3 miles out of the main town where the house prices are extortionate. But by coming this sort of 2 or 3 miles out of the town, you're still close enough to get to town. But the house prices do drop a little bit. This is the reason I'm in this particular area, because I moved here when I got divorced, and I didn't come to this house initially. I was actually in the house that Nancy lived in. And it suited me right down to the ground. It's been absolutely fabulous. But I can understand it if people aren't familiar with the area, or they do want to be that little bit close to the town. It's a lot to think about. There's all sorts of things to think about. But I said before, I think in last week's video, when Nancy's house sold, it sold to the people that I thought were the least likely people to buy it. They seemed to just show no particular interest as they were going round. It was like, yeah, it's nice. Yeah, it's nice. And I thought, oh, well, they don't like it. And you just don't know. You just don't know. And I can't read it. But we are getting regular viewers. So I've got some more today, and I've got some more at the weekend. And you just don't know. You just don't know. But because of that, I'm house viewing again, with the assumption that hopefully an offer will come on this sometime this summer, let's say. And we've got a good idea of what we're going for. But there's 2 houses I'm looking at today that are actually in this village. But of course, with me not being sold, it's more of a gauging what you get for your money, perhaps kind of viewing, or sort of, you know, if I did find the one that I thought this could really work, you know, it would just be sort of fingers crossed that that doesn't sell before this one. But of course, there's nothing I can do until this one is sold. So part of me is like, do I bother house viewing? Do I bother hunting? Or do I just sit back, relax, and just let this be and crack on with it when I do get an offer on this house? Or do we keep our hand in and be knowledgeable still about what's on the market, what's going on? I had a list on the main house viewing platform. There are many others. And I've made a sort of favourites list of properties I would like to view. And, you know, one by one, they're disappearing off my list because they're sold. So there is movement out there. There are people buying, there are people selling. It's just, this one is tricky, I suppose, because we do have a criteria. But also, I don't think townhouses like this probably do sell as quick as your sort of classic 2-floored houses. It's a totally different setup and layout. But every single person that has viewed has nicknamed this house the TARDIS. And I totally agree, because from the outside, being a townhouse, it looks very slim and slender and almost small. You come inside and what we have got is really big rooms, which is quite rare. So we haven't got the access space, if you like. Halls, landings are kind of tiny. Staircases is, you know, the 2 floors is windy and slim. And we haven't got all the downstairs room we need for Nancy. But my room sizes are all really big. And my bedrooms are 3 double bedrooms, which again, in a 3-bedroomed house is quite rare. It is in this area anyway. So I think the house itself has a lot to offer. And it's just finding that person that wants to be in this house, but in this area. And the more and more I get into this house buying and selling, the more I realise is that everybody has a criteria that I think you're going to be very lucky. It's going to be very unusual to find something that ticks 100% of your boxes. Everybody's got to make a change in whatever house they move into, whether it's cosmetic, whether it's an adjustment, you know, whether it's just decor, whether it's furnishing. You always have to make something your own, don't you? And I'm very good at visualization. So I'm very good at going in somewhere and ignoring the furniture and the decor and looking at a room and thinking that, yes, this is how I can have this room, or this is what could potentially be done here. And I don't think some people see that. Everybody does things so differently, don't they? And it's just such an interesting process for me at the moment. But I've got to go to my first appointment in about 20 minutes. So I'm just going to do a few jobs here first. Nancy is still asleep. that's why I'm being a little bit quiet, because her bedroom's just next door-ish to the kitchen. So I'm just going to finish off a couple of jobs here, then get into my house viewings this morning, and then it's just a case of just sitting back then, really, and letting the rest of my viewings on this house happen today and at the weekend. And, you know, the thing is, I've said it before, we're not now in as much of a rush as we were, because Nancy is quite settled, and we're okay because Adam is in Australia, so his room is free. But that won't last forever. Adam will come back at some point, even if it's only temporary, but temporary could be 12 months. You know, we still have to accommodate him, and I have to accommodate Grace. And she needs a little bit more room now, you know, she's a woman and she needs her privacy and things like that. So yeah, criteria is the thing, really. But as it stands at the moment, we're okay. We're in no major panic about it. But I think it is a very stressful thing. I think maybe I am a bit stressed about the house. But I also, knowing that we've got to do this, I also love this house. And the garden looks amazing since Paul has done it all up, and it just looks so lovely. And I think that whoever does buy this house, I think is very lucky, because it, you know, it's been well looked after and loved, and it's a very happy home. And there's lots of things in it that are new, relatively new, that are the expensive things that people would need to think about. You know, like my boiler's only a couple of years old. The fences in the garden, a couple of years old. Washing machine is new. I had to have a new one a couple of weeks ago. Dishwasher, a very good make and only a couple of years old. The fridge freezer's only a couple of years old. The oven's only a couple of years old. And it's those kind of things that, again, I think about when I go into a house. Is I think, what have I got to change that's going to be really expensive? And you've got a budget for that, haven't you? And kind of this house is kind of ready. Do you know what I mean? So, not that I'm blowing my own trumpet about my own house, but I am in a way, because I'm very proud of what I have and I look after what I have. So it'll be right for somebody. And when they do find it, they will be very happy here. I have no doubts whatsoever. Anyway, let's crack on with the day. So we have fast forwarded into time quite significantly since that last clip, because that was meant to form part of last week's vlog, which never happened, as you know, because just after I filmed that clip, I became really unwell with a migraine, and I was ill for about 4 or 5 days. And I don't get migraines very often at all. When I do, they're pretty nasty, and very rare that I get one that bad. But it did knock me for 6, and actually I was really unwell for about a week all in all, because they linger about, don't they? And then you feel absolutely drained and exhausted afterwards. And yeah, it was a pretty rough week. But just as I was recovering, a lot happened. And I'm sitting in my lovely garden, looking around me, knowing that very soon this will no longer be my garden. Yes, we have sold the house. And the other good news is I've also found somewhere to buy, which is also still in this village. So that was a little bit of a meant to be moment, and we kept on saying, didn't we, what would be for us would be for us, and the right thing will come along when it comes along, and it has. It absolutely has, fingers crossed. Obviously there's a long way to go yet, and all the legalities have got to be done, but the first part of the process is done. And also the house that we're hoping to buy is also empty, which means I don't have a chain above me. Now, I'm putting it out there a little bit into the universe, aren't I? But that is an unusual situation to be in, and we are incredibly lucky, very, very lucky. So that's basically what has been happening in the background whilst you didn't have a vlog. And then actually at the end of all that, I came out also with a tummy upset. So it was a bit of a weird week illness-wise. Now the tummy upset might have been related to the migraine, I don't know, or it could just be a bit of stress. At the moment, all things are good. All things are very good. I mean, I tell you, just look at this. What a nightmare of a garage. Lots of boxes from when we were attempting to move back in January. But now it does look like we actually will be on the move. This is all looking more positive this time round. Fingers crossed. Mine is having a bit of a nose. But the garage is out of control. Now, I'm not planning on sorting the majority of this out until after I come back from my holiday, because there is a lot to do. There's a lot we're not going to need. I have got suitcases upon suitcases. There's just so much stuff. But what I would like to do today, if possible, is pull a few things out and see if there's anything I can take along to the charity shop. And then at least I've made a little bit of a start. And you know me, I like to be organised, and actually I'm quite mortified showing you this. It is an absolute disaster area at the moment. But all that down there, there's a spare walker for Nancy. We've got 3 of those. We don't need 3. I'm sure someone can make use of that. All that in the corner there is Christmas decorations, and everything's just all over the place. So whilst the weather is lovely, let's get this underway. I'm even loving this weather so much this week that I'm being ultra prepared, and I've done my holiday washing, well, sort of beachwear and beach towels, because it's going to dry so lovely and so quick today, and then I can just fold it all up ready for packing. Love it. Well, it may not look like much, but actually just tidying up a little bit there. It's given me a bit more floor space to move about with. This has got to come out. It's full of holiday stuff to be washed. And my suitcase can come out as well. Oh, it's a scorcher, isn't it? Not one for complaining, but I prefer the weather to be like this when I'm on my holidays as opposed to when I'm at home and I can't escape it. Yes, it's a little bit warm. I hope you are coping this week, or have been coping this week in this heat. It is a little bit much for me, to be said, and I love the sun, and I do love it. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to jinx it. I love it, but yeah, it's a little bit, when you're doing jobs, you know what it's like. It's like I can hardly put one step in front of the other, let alone put the washing machine on. You know, it's just like that. But I have been to the charity shop, having sorted out the garage, and I couldn't resist but go inside, which is a bit lethal really, considering I'm supposed to be decluttering and not bringing anything else into the house. But I've made some purchases. Actually, they're not just for me. Nancy's made a purchase, Grace made a purchase, I've made a purchase. Anyway, needless to say, we love purchasing and shopping, and we do love a bit of a thrift in the old charity shops as well. And it was nice for Grace to come out with us today, because Grace is a little bit housebound at the moment. Grace has had an operation on her foot. It's nothing sinister, but it is quite a big operation. And I went with her on Tuesday of this week to have that done. So I couldn't do any vlogging on Tuesday. So this last couple of weeks has been basically little or no vlogging, which I hate because I love being with you, as you know. And there's been so much going on, but because Grace can't drive for quite some time and she's a little bit housebound, she can get in the car. So I said, come on, do you think you can manage just to get yourself around the charity shop? Yes, I can. I would love a trip out. So there was me, Nancy and Grace went to the Salvation Army shop, our local one in our local town this morning. And we did make sure we went out before it got too hot, but now it's mid-afternoon and it is scorching. Nancy's in her room with her window open and her fan on, and actually, fortunately, it's the coolest room of the entire house. So I'm going to join her in there in a minute when I finish filming this, because it's absolutely bliss and she's absolutely fine. So let me show you what we picked up. It's quite a big bag, isn't it? Well, we do love a bit of a thrift. And what I'm going to show you first is actually Nancy's purchase. And she spotted this within seconds of going through the door, and she loved it, and she wants it for her new room in the new house. So here it is. It's beautiful, actually, and it's very heavy. It is a mirror. Now, if I do that, you can see all the rubbish that's on my worktops over there, but never mind. Look at this beautiful mirror. Isn't that just gorgeous? And it has this lovely, you know Nancy, she absolutely loves butterflies. They are her favourite thing. It's got butterflies on it. So it's a metal frame, so that's why it's probably quite heavy. And I think you can have it, you could probably have it that way if you wanted to. But I think she liked it the way it was on display, which is that way. Can you see that? It's a bit difficult, isn't it, when they've actually got a reflection in it to be able to see. But it's lovely. It's an off-white colour. And that was the bargain price of £3. I love that. That's so cute. And very, very Nancy. And perfect for her to do her hair. And then a couple of things that Grace picked up. First of all, she's got a friend that's having a baby in October. And this lady knows that she's having a little girl. So we found these, or rather Grace found these, and we bought both of them. I think they're both priced the same at, let me see, I think they were £4 each. No, the first one, this one is £2.50, the second one was £4. So this was £2.50, and it is a very, very cute pink heart grow. And it's in that lovely, lovely soft but thick and warm material. How cute is that? And that is aged 0 to 3 months. So if baby born in October, that would be lovely for December, January, going into February. And it has a 2-way zip for easy changing. So you can take it down like that fully, or if you want to keep baby warm, difficult to do this one-handed, you want to keep baby warm, but want to do nappy, there's also a zip at the bottom here that you can just zip up to waist height in order to get little feet out to change the nappy without baby getting cold. How cute is that? It's originally from George, but it's still got the tags on, so that's new really, so that's lovely. And the other one that was £4 is this one. Again, it's got the tags on, and this is a nutmeg one. And again, it's got the 2-way zip. Oh, getting broody. How lovely is that? With little bears on it. And again, 0 to 3 months. So that is going to be absolutely ideal for new little baby. Oh, it's cute. Yeah, those days are over for me. Grace also got this, just because she loved it really. What can I say? This is a Kiss Kiss wine glass. It's a bit different, isn't it? And Grace doesn't really drink wine, but you know, you could have anything in it, couldn't you? Let's face it. Or again, it's quite a nice gift. But where is it from originally? Does it tell us? I haven't got my glasses on. No, it doesn't tell us where it was originally, but it's new, still boxed up, and it's just this wine glass with lots of kisses all over it. So it's very nice, very Valentine's-y, isn't it really, I suppose, but dead cute, dead cute. And another little thing that Grace bought was this. How lovely is that? Little sort of diamante, I think, silver cross necklace. It does have a little stone missing. Do you know, I can't even see where. She said there's a little stone missing somewhere, but I can't see it. And you certainly wouldn't see it when you're wearing it, would you? If I could get it the right way around. You certainly wouldn't see it when you're wearing it, would you? So pretty. How lovely is that? And that was £2. Gorgeous. And, oh, I lied to you. Nancy made 2 purchases. And these are the kind of things of Nancy's that recently she's actually given quite a lot of these kind of things away. But she saw this little trinket bowl, which I think it is, that she loved. It was only £1. How cute is that? Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? little, well, I would say it's a little trinket bowl, wouldn't you? I don't know what you'd use it for, but trinkets. You could put your jewellery in it, your earrings or what have you overnight. I suppose you could use it to put your tea bags on. That's probably what Nancy will use it for. Who knows? But how cute is that? It's gorgeous. And it was £1 and it is marked. Let me just take the label off and I can tell you what it is. It is Derby Poses, Royal Crown Derby, English bone china. So it's a good one. It's a good one. How cute is that? She loved that. In fact, I'll go and put that in her room in a minute and she'll find a little spot for that, no doubt. On to my purchases. And these are all wrapped up. Hang on. Oh. Right, these have all been bubble wrapped very kindly for me. So let me just, oh, look at my hair, I'm so hot. Let me just unbubble wrap these for you. And I love these because if you know me of old, you will know that I'm a big lover of Emma Bridgewater mugs, bowls, especially the ones with the wording design on or hearts and things like that. And I've also, before now, found some kind of dupes pasta bowls with the wording on that look like Emma Bridgewater, but they're not. Well, these are also not Emma Bridgewater. Look at those. Huge cafe au lait coffee mugs with saucers. How like cafe au lait. How cute are they? And I got 2 of them. You know I love my coffee, but that really would be a big cup of coffee for me, but I do love it. I got 2. How gorgeous are they? And they're not Emma Bridgewater, but they are Whittard ones. And that's a good make too, isn't it? Whittard ones, look at that. If I show you my real Emma Bridgewater mug that I'm having my coffee in at the moment, you can see they are whoppadoobies of mugs. Huge. It's a bit difficult to see. These were £4 for the set. Bargain, I thought. Yes, bargain. I am going to stick them through the dishwasher in a minute. They are dishwasher proof. Yes, microwave and dishwasher proof. I'm going to give them a good clean, but I absolutely love those and very in keeping with the sort of things I have. Couldn't leave them. Could not leave them on the shelf. Gorgeous. They look very nice in my new kitchen when I've got it as well. Fingers crossed. Going for a little bit of retail therapy and a bit of thrifting has made my week. I absolutely love it. So I'm going to go and wash these now. And I'm also going to go and wash baby's clothes. And those are our little purchases from the charity shop today. Our thrifting sensation. Yes, our lovely purchases from the charity shop today. Very, very pleased. So here we are having our moment on the bed. And it feels like ages since I did moment on the bed. It's only a couple of weeks, isn't it? But I have not stopped. I really have not stopped. If it's been one thing, it's been another. And if it's not been the other, it's been something else. Really, really full on. I can't describe it to you. And a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, texted me earlier in the week and doesn't live in this area, so I don't see her regularly. But she texted me and was sort of just checking in, and we were having a chat about all sorts of different things. And then she said, "How are you? ... Really, how are you?" And it stopped me in my tracks a little bit. And I thought, that's interesting. Even from a distance, she's stopped and thought, how is Polly really doing? And I've had to stop and think, how is Polly really doing? And it's very important. And I'm so pleased she did that, because it did make me stop and think, how am I? How am I really? And the truth is, very stressed. I have to be honest, I am full to the brim with stress. And it's a combination of things, obviously. I feel a little bit better this week than I did last week, because last week I was in the whole throes of dealing with the house, and in the throes of all that sort of negotiation, and I also had got to the point where I was absolutely sick and tired of showing people around the house. And I know that sounds awful, really, doesn't it? And a bit mean, I suppose. But you're wishing viewers to come and see the house. And then, well, you know me, I'm quite particular. And I do like things a bit spit spot and everything in its place and tidy and clean and presentable. Don't get me wrong, no show home. This is a proper functioning family home, but I do try to keep on top of it as much as I can. And obviously there's other contributing factors now, isn't there? Looking after Nancy, having lots more washing, having, you know, just life being generally much, much busier, still working, etc., etc. But I suddenly had a bit of an influx of viewers, and which is great, obviously, and it means we've actually sold the house, obviously. But I was actually getting very, very tired and very tired of doing it. And because Nancy lives with us and Nancy's here, I have been doing all the viewings. So it's not been the agent, which I think actually is, if I ever did it again, I think I would let an estate agent show people around my house for me. I find it quite stressful, but not stressful in a presentation kind of way. I find it draining. I don't know why it's draining, but it is. And you're kind of going through the same speech over and over again, making sure you're telling them what they need to know about the house, the important stuff, or what I think is important. And sometimes an estate agent doesn't know all those answers from the offset, do they? Sometimes I know when I've viewed houses and the estate agent is showing you around, and I'll say, oh, how old's the boiler? Or I might say, you know, are those carpets relatively new? Or 9 times out of 10, they don't have an instant answer, I have found. And that's understandable, I suppose. They've got lots of houses on their books, haven't they? And they can't know the ins and outs of every single house. So sometimes when you view a house and it's the vendor that is showing you around, at least if you ask those questions, you're going to know the answers sort of instantaneously. So not that it was scripted, that is the wrong expression, but it's like you're going through the same conversations over and over again, and you know, making sure you point out, or I was making sure that I was pointing out the key points of the house and some of the hidden little gems, and obviously the positives, and obviously things that are important to people. You know, what council tax band are you in? What, you know, whatever the question is. But every time I do a viewing, it's like, I'm just so tired. I just can't describe it. I'm just so tired. And I actually did a final viewing on the Saturday, and I sat down with Mum and Grace and I said, do you know what? I am absolutely sick of this. I am really getting sick of it, and it's awful. No disrespect to anybody that's been to my house. Every single person that's come to view my house has been totally lovely, and I've had beautiful comments and feedback about the house. I mean, no one's going to actually tell the agent, no, it was vile, I'm not coming back ever again, are they? But you know what I mean. It's all been quite a positive experience. But I've sold a few houses in my life. I've lived in quite a few houses in my life. This has been the most stressful time and process of house selling that I can remember. Is it to do with my age? Is it to do with being through the menopause? Is it to do with just the whole thing is so stressful? And it kind of shouldn't be. But then I thought to myself, when my friend said, how are you really? I thought, you know what, really, I'm absolutely shattered and I'm stressed and I've had enough and I need my holiday. And then once the ball got moving with the offer on this house, finding the house we loved, having an offer accepted on that, the legal process has started, contract paperwork is going backwards and forwards quite quickly. Once the process got underway, I've now gone and breathe. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not going to let the house go to rack and ruin, obviously. I'm still keeping it lovely, and I like living in my house being lovely. But I've just been able to let things go a little bit, thinking I don't have to show anybody around again, because it's a lot for Nancy as well. You know, she understands totally what's going on in the process, but she'll forget, obviously, that people are coming around to view, or I don't know. I don't want her privacy invaded in that way anymore. And it's a lot for her, especially as she is really comfortable here. So I was getting a bit worked up about all sorts of things, Nancy, and just the whole thing, really. And, you know, when I go to work, I'm only working 3 days a week, but I go very early in the morning, so I'm getting up really early. I don't take any break at all. I work straight through so that I can leave the office at around 3 o'clock in the afternoon and get back and be with Nancy and do what I do here, etc., etc. But even that is tiring and wearing. However, I'm loving it because it's keeping my brain going, and I'm doing something different other than the house and other than looking after Nancy, which is a privilege, don't get me wrong, but something different for my brain, and that's really healthy. So I'm very happy at work, and that's all fine. But sometimes you lose the balance, don't you? And you think, if I don't look after myself now and calm down and get some decent sleep and focus on the moment, I'm going to find myself getting really poorly. And then I got that dreadful migraine, and that stopped me in my tracks completely. And I thought, yeah, it's all getting a little bit much. So this past few days has been much better. A bit of clarity, a bit of calmness. I'm letting now everything happen in the background. Everything that needs to be done with the house has just got to roll in the background until we start talking dates and what have you. So now I'm almost not thinking about the house. I'm now concentrating on my preparation for my holiday, which is next week, and I cannot wait. And Nancy seems so bright and well, and Grace is going to be here with her. She's got plenty of visitors coming. And if that stays as it is, please God, for the next week, I will be content to go on holiday and happy to enjoy it and relax. And also knowing that when I come back from holiday, it all kicks off again. I've got to do the packing. You know, I've really got to start sorting things out in the house and doing the packing, because potentially this move could happen quite quickly, because the people that are buying my house have nothing to sell. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, the house I'm moving to, there's no upward chain and it's empty. So apart from having a survey done on this house, and the people buying this house have got to get their mortgage in place, there isn't actually anything else to do. So potentially I'm keeping everything crossed. You just don't know how these things are going to go, do you? I'm keeping everything crossed, but potentially it could be a relatively quick move. Having said that, I mean, your average house move is 8 to 12 weeks. So we're not sort of, it's not happening overnight, but it could be probably one of the quicker processes of house buying and selling that you can have. So once I am back from my holiday, I'm then going to sort of be methodical about it, but start to do some sorting out and start packing those boxes. And I'm actually really looking forward to it. The house we're buying is not the original house we were going to buy back in January, and everything happens for a reason, doesn't it? Well, I'm a big believer in that. Everything happens for a reason. And this particular house, we all walked in and went, yep, this is going to work. Absolutely. And it means Nancy gets a room from the onset, and she's actually having the current lounge room that is there. and we can actually make it into a lovely big room for her, where she'll have her bedroom area one end and a living area at the other end, with a sofa and her telly and everything. So she's going to have more room in her room, but she's also going to have very easy access into a beautiful kitchen diner that's got plenty of room in it for her to walk about and get the wheelchair in if needs be, and certainly her walker. And then there's lovely great big patio doors onto the rear garden, so if she's in the diner area of the kitchen, she can sit and look out at the garden. And she's got a downstairs bathroom, so all of that is tick tick tick, all those necessities, the criteria that I wanted is there, and it's got everything for everybody else as well. But what we are going to do is potentially a garage conversion to make another lounge stroke sitting area. And the only thing it doesn't have at the moment, which actually was one of my things on my list that I really wanted, it doesn't have it at the moment, but there is a place to put one. It's a utility area. And at the moment, I've got a washing machine in my kitchen and my tumble dryer is out at my garage, which is separate to the house. So I've always said, next house I have, I want a utility, but actually is that there's a perfect spot in there to have a utility. So the plan is, hopefully, if this all goes to plan and this is the house for us, then as soon as we're in, we're going to have, excuse me, as soon as we're in, we're going to have those changes done as quickly as possible. So it's going to be a really exciting time as well. But having those changes done on the house won't affect Nancy's living area at all. So it's absolutely ideal. Absolutely ideal. We get to stay in the same area that we're living in currently, which Nancy loves anyway. Well, we all love, to be honest. And that's good because it's very familiar to her and all those kind of things. But it's not been an easy couple of weeks. It really hasn't. But then I sort of bring it back round and I keep reminding myself how lucky I am. And I have such a beautiful family. It's such a privilege and it's so lovely to have Nancy and for her to be happy and content and well. I've got an amazing partner, as you know, the Invisible Chef, aka Paul, who is just so supportive and so understanding of everything. He's been great. And then of course I've got my lovely dear Grace, who is just fab. Couldn't have asked more from a daughter. Adam is doing very well. He's of course in Australia. I am getting plenty of updates every day. He has now worked his way up from Sydney to Brisbane, and they're absolutely in love with Byron Bay, and they're just having an amazing time, and he's having a wonderful adventure. And why not while he's young? But we're getting plenty of FaceTime calls and lots of lovely messages, lovely pictures coming through every day. So I am not worried about him at all. He is having the time of his life. So actually, while I'm a bit stressed, do you know what? There's really nothing to complain about. Everything is flowing quite nicely now, and there's a plan of action in place. And I don't like living in chaos. I don't like living sort of with the unknown. I think that's the other thing that was getting me down with the house, was a sort of, is it going to sell? Is it not going to sell? How many more people do I have to show around that I spent all this time and effort getting the house nice and lovely, and then they don't want it? And on top of my busy life anyway, that was wearing me out, definitely, without a shadow of a doubt. So I'm keeping everything crossed, and please will you keep everything crossed for us, that this now goes according to plan, because I don't think I can go through it again. I really don't. But things are good. Do you know what I mean? Things are all good. You have to sort of count your blessings, don't you? And sit back and go, do you know what? I really haven't got anything to moan about. All is going very, very well. But I am very much looking forward to my holiday. Like I said before, I'm not actually going to tell you where I'm going until I'm there. I'm going to keep it a surprise. It's not too far away. It is abroad, but not too far away. And I will do a lovely holiday vlog for you, like I always do whenever I go away. And I am going to just sit back and do nothing for that week, apart from just enjoy the sunshine and relaxing, and then we shall get on to a lot of sorting out, really, when I get back. What can I say? It's going to be a very exciting summer, and as Paul was only saying to me last night, actually, he said we're going to be having a very exciting second part of our year, and we will. And it's been a very busy year so far, with moving Nancy over here and sorting out all her things in her house. That was very tiring as well, and I just don't think that I am up to much more at the moment. I am very, very worn out, but it's okay. We're doing okay. We are doing okay. Well, we're doing more than okay. We are good. No problems whatsoever. The tummy upset thing. I've figured out what it was. It wasn't a tummy upset. It was a bit self-inflicted, actually. But I'm going to mention this because some of you might have this product. Some of you might be thinking about having this product. And I just thought I'd let you know my experience of it. Because I follow somebody on here called Emily Norris. Some of you probably have heard of her. Some of you may follow her already. And I have watched Emily's videos for a long, long time, and she's a very successful YouTuber, creator, content creator. If you do know of her, you'll know that. And she obviously, like we all do as content creators, every now and then get asked to promote products, and she does a lot of that. And some of the things that she has advertised that I've then gone on to buy or have been amazing. But a couple of weeks ago, she advertised a product by a company called Space Goods. And basically, it's like a coffee alternative. You know how I love my coffee. It's a coffee alternative, but it's got lots of ingredients in it that are great for powering energy and preventing brain fog and having clarity and all those kind of things. And it's got lion's mane and all sorts of these, you know, these new mushroom things that everybody's raving about. And I thought, I'll give that a go, Emily. Thank you so very much. Along it comes, and didn't wholly read the whole packet. And the first day I had 3 of them, 2 in the morning and 1 in the evening. And I was like, paching, yeah, back in the room. This is great. And it doesn't have a very high level of caffeine in. So you're getting some caffeine, you're getting your coffee fix, but actually you're getting a much sort of brighter sort of picture, if you like. And you can actually tell from the first coffee that it's doing you good, and it is giving you clarity. And I thought, this is fabulous. I love this, love it. The next day I had 1 in the morning, and I think it was on the second day that I read that actually you are supposed to only have it in the morning or have 1 a day. I thought, okay. Because the first night after I'd had the 3, I couldn't get to sleep, and I thought, have I had too much caffeine today? I thought, no, I wonder if it's that coffee I had. Anyway, sort of ummed and ahed about it. Let's skip forward 3 days, and I couldn't get off the toilet. Really couldn't get off the toilet. I'm talking day 1 was about 15 times. Day 2 was about 9 times. And this went on for 5 days. And on day 5, I actually hadn't had one of these coffees for some reason. I think I'd gone to work and I'd forgotten to have it. And I thought, well, I don't feel ill, but something's going on that's a bit drastic. And if I carry on like this, I might get into that bikini for my holiday after all. But anyway, I thought, no, something's going on. This is not right. What have I eaten differently? What have I drank differently? Oh, the only thing I've had different is my Space Goods coffee. I wonder if it's that. And then I Googled it, and you know what that's like. Lethal, isn't it? Googled it. So I was about to put in Space Goods and diarrhea. I put in Space Goods and it came up. Space Goods and diarrhea. I thought, oh. Started reading. Lots of people who have a sensitivity to certain ingredients, or sucralose is it, or something like that, can have quite an adverse effect to this product. And you can have an adverse effect to it because it's actually a gut cleansing coffee, which I didn't quite take on board. And I've got a bit of a sensitive tummy anyway, As soon as I stopped drinking it, she's back in the room, and I'm absolutely fine. So any of you that have tried this product or have seen it advertised by anybody, this is nothing against Emily or Emily Norris, it's just that that's where I saw it. Nothing against her whatsoever. But if you have seen this advertised and you're thinking of trying it, just have a little read up about it before you purchase. Have a look at all the ingredients, of what it can do, what it doesn't do, etc., etc. Because if you're like me and you possibly have a little bit of a sensitivity to it, well, what can I say? It's a little bit drastic. But that brings me on to just talk a little bit before we go about YouTube and content creating. And I had some lovely messages from some of you, well, all of you really, last week. And so many of you are always so disappointed when a vlog doesn't go up on a Sunday. But many content creators and YouTubers film their own content, but then don't edit their own content. They have a company or another person that will edit the videos for them, help them do the voiceovers, do the music, do the titles, whatever it is they have. And I don't have that. I do the whole thing myself. I film, edit, voiceover, music, do the whole lot myself. So if I don't do a video and it's not for an obvious reason, or I have said, if I've said to you I'm traveling and I can't do a video, that's different. But if I just haven't done a video because life has got on top of me, then hopefully you understand it's because it's not just about filming it, it's taking the time in the week as well to edit it all together and put the music together and all those kind of things. So I do everything from scratch on this channel for you. So just, if life does get a bit much and there isn't a vlog on a Sunday, I will tell you if there's not going to be one on a Sunday, but I do apologise sincerely, because I know some of you like to get up on your Sunday mornings with a cup of coffee, not Space Goods, and or a cup of tea or what have you, and watch me videos. So I do apologise because I don't have a team behind me. It is just little old me. But I shall stop rattling on now and hope you have enjoyed this week's video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for returning. And thank you if you're a new watcher as well. And if you haven't yet subscribed, please do. We're getting ever closer to 2,000 subscribers, and I will do a little giveaway when we hit that mark as well. But until next Sunday, stay safe, stay in the boat, and keep doing all things good. I will be back next Sunday. Take care. Bye.